Hello and welcome back to This Morning. The King-Leon disease has been infecting the majority of Britain. Very shortly we'll be meeting a lady called Becky who specialises in the respiratory system and will explain how the King-Leon disease is having an impact on how we respire.
Becky from Meadows is going to be telling us what the respiratory system is and how you can avoid catching the King-Leon disease.
But before we speak to her, we actually have some comments from our viewers regarding the respiratory system. Emily D from Billingham said, because she is so short, she can't respire like other people. Oh dear. I just can't imagine that the respiratory system could have that kind of effect on someone.
I'm actually intrigued to know more details about the King-Leon disease.
Well, Becky is now in our sofa ready to answer some burning questions about the respiratory system and the King-Leon disease.
Let's start with the basics, Becky. So how do you actually define the respiratory system?
Well, Philip, the respiratory system is a biological system consisting of specific organs and structures used for gaseous exchange in plants and animals.
And how does the King-Leon disease have a negative impact on the respiratory system?
Our sinuses are a connected system of hollow cavities in the skull. The mucus layer protects our nose from pollutants, microorganisms, dust and dirt. However, the King-Leon disease destroys the mucus layer, which protects the nose, and therefore the microorganisms enter our nose and mouth and pass through our sinuses.
So, the reason why the King-Leon disease is infecting so many people is because of the fact it destroys the mucus layer, which protects the nose?
Precisely. The King-Leon disease also has a negative impact on the trachea, which is supposed to protect the respiratory surface from the accumulation of foreign particles.
What advice would you give to the current sufferers of the King-Leon disease in order to protect their trachea and sinuses?
Well, as disgusting as it sounds, the best remedy in order to cure the King-Leon disease is to expel the mucus.
Oh, sorry, me and Phillip can't contain the laughter.
Stop it, Holly, please.
Oh, and how do you expel the mucus?
By trialing products such as
Life-lessening.
Goofinism.
That thin mucus layer will not sit in the back of your throat or chest using
I
that
mean,
product.
that isn't going to be the prettiest of remedies, but if it is going to somewhat help you from developing a worsened form of the King-Leon disease, then surely it'll be worth it, like me.
Yes, Holly. Bethany, who is also from Middlesbrough, has sent a question to us, Becky, to ask you. And that is, Becky, I learned about the bronchial tubes and lobes of the lungs at school, but why do the right and left lung have different amount of lobes?
That's a good question, Bethany.
To answer your question, Bethany S., each lung is separated into lobes branching off the main bronchus. There needs to be space on the left-hand side for your heart.
Oh, so that is a really interesting answer, Becky, and I'm glad Bethany S asked that. Because I didn't know,
I do know what the diaphragm is, but it is important to ask you to define exactly what it is for us, and for those who might not know at home.
Well, the diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscular partition separating the thorax from the abdomen in mammals. It plays a major role in breathing as its contraction increases the volume of the thorax and so inflates the lungs.
Wow. Holly, got anything to say about that?
You want to test our knowledge on you as our human diagram, don't you, Becky? Let's go here, come on. Oh, no. I'm not going to lie, I don't actually know what half of those technical terms mean. So let's start with this one. What is the purpose of the pulmonary artery?
Well, the pulmonary artery is a blood vessel which delivers oxygenated blood to the lungs.
And where exactly does that oxygenated blood go?
Well, it gets brought back to the heart by the pulmonary veins which enter the left atrium. Holly, why don't you point out where the left atrium is?
Oh, okay. I'm not entirely sure if I've located it in the right area. Is that the correct place?
It actually is. Now it's your turn, Philip.
Oh, that's definitely a comment that he wanted to hear today.
So, Philip, I would like you to label where you think the bronchial tubes are located.
Whilst I attempt to do that, Becky, can you explain to our viewers what the purpose is of the cilia in the bronchial tubes?
Well, these tiny hair-like structures on the surface sweep mucus, trap dust and bacteria up to the back of the throat, where it can be swallowed.
Thank you for that definition, Becky. And is that roughly where the bronchial tubes are located?
Yes, well done.
And I'm going to label the pulmonary artery. Becky? Oh my God, Phillip, Becky!
Becky, can you hear me?
Let's get her on the sofa. Becky's fainted. Move her! Call cat, call cat, call cat. Move her. Put your back into it, Holly. Breathe, use the respiratory system. Oh, watch your head! Watch your head, Phillip! My God! Oh. Oh. It would appear that Becky has taken a turn for the worst. Luckily, we have Bob from Down Under ready to give Becky some medical attention.
Whilst we try to identify what has happened to Becky, we are going to cut to an advert break. When we return, we have Gino in the kitchen who will be cooking a unique ravioli wall special.
So make sure you stay tuned in, and hopefully Becky will have recovered and will be able to enjoy that respiratory related dish with us. Join you as a human diagram.
I do know what diaphragm is, but it is important to ask you to define exactly what it is for us.
We should keep this in, because this is what they actually do. I mean, that isn't going to be the prettiest of remedies, but if it is going to somewhat help you from developing a worsened form of the King Lear disease, then it will be worth it, like me. Oh.
I'm so sorry, Mommy. Bethany, yes, it was
No,
also...
sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm going to label the pulmonary artery. Oh.
Hi, Karen. You alright?
I'm told that you are human diaphragm, Becky. Diaphragm, Becky. Diaphragm, Becky.